we were initially looking to build a home. We were living in my wife's house. She'd been living there for quite a long time, but we were finding like it was just becoming quite an expensive project, and then we just decided to sort of back off from doing a new build and then just focus on established homes. At that point in time, probably buying an established home was probably better value for money than building at that particular time. So we had been slowly building and saving for a deposit, but it was probably very hard to reach that sweet spot, that 20% deposit, and that felt like, well, we maybe could reach it, but we're probably, if we're going to expand our family, we don't want to downsize here, we want to upsize, and therefore it was quite a hard target to achieve. To get something that we felt was going to be, good for any additional kids that we had, we would reach that figure. That's for sure, but it was just, how long is it going to take? We also had agreed that we were not going to sell our house when we moved. We were going to rent it out, and therefore we had to spend quite a bit of money on getting that ready for renting out. So we were sort of saving on two fronts. So I guess that's probably what made it, trying to get to that magic 20% point was being a little bit hindered by the fact that we were having to spend money on our current home to make sure that we could get the best possible rent. It's really quite hard to believe that we own this house. The luck of when we bought our house will never, ever, ever be forgotten. I'm talking about when we agreed the price and got finance settled. It was only weeks away from people starting to talk about, rentals are starting to get more popular now, and markets are finally picking up. It was just word of mouth, and yeah, it felt like when we moved in, the market just took off in a way that was just explosive. And it felt like, it almost felt like even if this happened a few months later, it may have not happened because we wouldn't have not got the price that we got. Yeah, it always felt like to me, we're probably quite young to be in this house, is how I felt. It's a house that we would never be able to buy now. Not even close. It has been an absolutely it's just one of those things. It's just, you got in there just right at the end before things took off, and if you're not here, you're left behind almost. It's really quite quite incredible just how that happened. When we first looked at this place, we actually thought that maybe, my wife's pregnant, maybe we're trying to take on too much right now, so we just thought, let's just leave it. But then the agent got in touch many months later to say, look, you registered an interest in this place, it's still available, and he's dropped the price again. It's hard to believe that actually happened, but 5 years ago that did happen. 5.5 years ago, because even 5 years ago things were changing, but that was the reality where it was back then. And it's just been almost like, had we decided just to stay where we were in our old house, sure, we would have it would have gone up a lot in value, and we'd had a smaller mortgage, but our equity position now versus then is massively different. Our equity position is more than doubled by doing nothing. We've done nothing. We just bought a house, and we haven't manufactured any growth. It has been market-driven growth we could sell and move back to our old house and we'd be mortgage-free. That's how ridiculous it is. Yeah, it's backed up by bank valuations of our home. It's not backed up on this is my thoughts. It's got true numbers there to back it up. It really is it's quite a crazy 5.5 years. No, just saying, yeah, we'd be left behind. It was like we would now be like, oh yeah, that was our chance. We didn't realize it at the time, but that door's shut now. Like, there's no way you can go in there now unless something, your financial position changes in a really positive way dramatically, something maybe unexpected. But on normal stuff, yes, people now, yeah, we would have been priced out. There's no way we could have bought this house even a year later. Oh, well, it has been a little tricky. And what I mean by that is about 2 years after we moved in, maybe 2.5 years, that's when interest rates started going through the roof. So it's not been easy for a lot of us. So I think the house felt like it was quite cheap to live in, considering the repayments at the time. But through all the interest rate rises and then the breaking out of Haas and going on our own, yes, we do have, a large mortgage. The repayments are, they're a little bit daunting. But I counter that with, well, look at our equity position. So it's not like we're trying to pay off something that is just, we're in negative equity, or we paid way too much and it's not really growing. That's how I counter it. And I view it as a true asset that we can perhaps borrow against it to get other places. It's something that's a real, if you looked at your strengths and weaknesses, that is probably the biggest strength there. It's like, this house has grown so much and it gives us options now to perhaps borrow against it to get us a place for our daughter to get in. Do you know what I mean? My advice would be, if you choose not to, you will likely fall further behind. And this is a real leg up. And it can, based on our experiences, it got us into a place that we wouldn't have been able to do without it. It's as simple as that. So be open-minded. Don't be put off by what could be viewed as maybe a little bit not business as usual, or a little bit more complex. Yes, it could be a little bit complex to understand, but we've been through all of it and it's all benefited us massively. So be very open and you get educated through this whole thing as well. You learn these things. You can, it's almost like the world before Haas versus world after Haas is a lot, you're just much more open, and you can think more creatively about these things.